Hello, welcome or welcome back. My name is Ari and today is my book haul game. So if you are new to my channel, how I do my book haul every month is I try to read more books than I haul. And I don't do this by restricting my hauls. I do this because I read too many freaking books every month. I am not bragging about reading books. I really have a problem, but I read really fast. You do not have to feel like you need to read really fast because I read really fast. I am using my reading really fast powers to let you know what your next read might be, because I'm going to read some trash so you don't have to read some trash. Anyway, how this works is I tell you on this side of the screen the number of books I've read this month, and on this side of the screen is the number of books that I've hauled this month. The number of books I've read only go up if I haul a book that I have read in a month previous. Haul books go up if I haul the book. I mean, that's pretty straightforward, I would hope. It was brought to my attention recently that the way that I am doing the number of books I've read this month may not actually help clear off my shelves, because if I read 20 books from the library, I'm never gonna haul the library books. So I could haul 15 books, read 20 books from the library, and I'm actually adding books to my shelf instead of taking them off. So this number is now changed. This is not how many books I've read this month. This is how many haulable books I've read this month. Either books that will be featured in this haul or books featured in previous hauls. This month, that number is 23. And I read 29 total books, just in case you wanted to know. Now my hauls have 3 categories. The first category is books I bought for myself, second category is books I got in book boxes, and third categories are my Libro FM books. Let's start with the first category of books I bought myself. So the first book I bought for myself is Vita Nostra by Marina and Sergei Dachanko. This is dark academia, but make it Ukrainian. It's weird. I read it. I didn't really like it, but a lot of other people do. The next haul are books that I didn't read. I am trying to collect all of Brandon Sanderson's books, and these are his White Sand comics, right? So comics set in the Cosmere universe, not a hugely popular thing that you hear about. There are 3 of them, but I can't find the third one in paperback. I don't think it exists in paperback. I think you can only get it in hardback. So I'm holding off until I actually get around to reading the first 2, and if by that time I could get it in paperback, then I will order it that way. If not, then I will have an unmatching graphic novel. The next 2 books I have also not read, and I'm gonna pretend like I bought them for a purpose, but my excuse is flimsy. So I needed to order some books for a friend off of Thrift Books, I think, or Better World Books. I don't remember which one. Thrift Books, it says on the side of them. Off of Thrift Books, and I needed like 40 cents or something like that to get free shipping. So of course I was going to spend the extra 40 cents, but I didn't need to buy 2 books to spend 40 cents. So I spent way more than 40 cents. And the books that I got were Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I don't know why I couldn't say her first name. Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. This is a classic. It's one of the ones that I want to read this year, because I hear good things about it and I haven't read it, but I don't really know what it's about. I get like Jane Eyre vibes from it. Other one is Helicania Spring. I don't know if I'm saying that right at all, by Brian Aldiss. My best friend told me that I needed to read this book I don't know what it's about. I didn't look. He just said, read this book. And I was like, okay. And I don't know when I'm gonna get around to it, but I own it, so I can read it. The next book is a book that I bought for my alphabet read that I had in March. I didn't have anything for the letter Z, or I had a reread, but I wanted something new, and so I ended up buying Zombies vs. Unicorns, which is a short story collection edited by Holly Black and Justine Labalester. I'm probably still pronouncing her name wrong. You would think that I would go like Google it and look it up, but I am inherently lazy, so I haven't. And I just keep butchering her last name. Anyway, this is, like I said, a short story collection about zombies versus unicorns. The last two books I have read both of them, and they were both pre-orders. The first one is Chain of Iron, which is book 2 in the Last Hours trilogy by Cassandra Clare. This is deep, like deep in the Shadowhunters universe, but it's the fifth book set in like the Victorian era, because Shadowhunters are either set in modern New York or Victorian era London, and this is Victorian era London. These are the ones that I like. I don't like the ones set in modern New York. I like the ones set in Victorian era London. So I pre-ordered this. I knew it was coming this month. I read it right away. This was the worst fucking ending I've ever read in a book, and I hated everything about the ending of this book, and I need the third book to come out now, but this one just released this month, so, and it's thick, so it's not like the next one's coming out really soon. My other pre-order was Clara and the Sun by Kazu Ishiguro. This is his newest novel. It's a sci-fi, very character-driven sci-fi, really questioning like what it means to be human. Kazu Ishiguro is one of my like auto-buy authors, and this is the third book that I've read from him. I still haven't managed to give anything he's written 5 stars, but I still like really enjoy them. I think if I went back and read Never Let You Go again, I'd probably give it 5 stars, so maybe I should do that, but that's the different conversation. This is a haul. So the next category is book boxes, and I usually do fairly decent about reading book boxes. Maybe not 100%, but like in like the 80-90% every month. The first book is from Book of the Month Club, and that is The Lost Apothecary. Why can't I say apothecary? Apothecary. The Lost Apothecary. That word is really hard for me to say. I don't like this. By Sarah Pinner. Anyway, this is supposed to be a historical fantasy, but there's fuck all fantasy in here, and this is like historical women's fiction, and it's about cheating spouses, and I fucking hate that premise in books, and I should have DNF'd this, but I was going, where's the magic? This is a fantasy. Where's the magic gonna show up? And it never showed up. So if you are thinking about reading this because the cover looks really awesome and it's a fantasy, it's not a fantasy. Next up was the book from the Feminist Book Club book box, and that was Here Comes the Sun by Nicole Dennis Benn. This book was really well written, and I think a lot of people will like it. It's just not topics that I particularly enjoy. The next book is from my Introverts Retreat Box, and I've got 2 copies because this copy came really damaged. If you want to see a very funny reaction to a really damaged book box that was missing basically all of its contents, I would recommend watching that video. I will link it up in the cards, but they sent me a replacement book because this one is beat up, if you can't tell. This is a book that I DNF'd. If you like domestic thrillers, then you'll probably enjoy this book. I just don't like domestic thrillers. So again, that like cheating husband trope, not my thing. And the characters in here are very like insufferable. So I was like, I know I don't like this trope. I know where this is going, even if I don't know like the exact plot twist, and I DNF'd it. The next two books are the books that I got from my sci-fi book box, or sci-fi club book box maybe. This is a book box that, I think this box was supposed to come in February, but I didn't get it till early March, so it ended up in my March haul instead of my February haul. The first book from there is West Side by W.M. Akers. I did read this. It was weird as shit and kind of mediocre overall story. The premise pretty much tells you what it's going to be about, so if the premise sounds really interesting to you, then I'd say you might like this. If it doesn't, then you probably won't like this. The other book that I got in this box I did not read, and that is Gork the Teenage Dragon by Gabe Hudson. I have no idea what this is about, but it sounds absurd. So I'm hoping that sometime soon I can get the time to read this, because it sounds like everything that I need in a book just from the title. Next is a book that I got from my Book Nerds Essential Box from Misplaced Muse, and that is The Hobbits of Tolkien by David Day. I hate J.R.R. Tolkien's writing, so this book was never meant for me in the first place, and I was like browsing through a little bit and kind of like trying to figure out what it's about, maybe trying to read it, and then I determined that the entire book's about hobbit fish fetishes, which that's not true. I'm being sarcastic, just in case somebody gets mad at me, but yeah, I got to the part about foot fetishes and I was like, I'm out, peace out, bye, done, and DNF'd this book. And the final book, that's so hard to say, that I am talking about came in my Coffee and a Classic, and I also have duplicates of it because this one is damaged. There's some water damage on the cover, which I don't think you could see through the camera. You couldn't in my unboxing, but I posted a picture where the shadows will help you see what the damage of it is. This is Withering Heights by Emily Bronte. If you can't tell, I have read this before, but it's been a long time, so I am going to tally it over here as something that I have read, but I need to reread this, and this is a very simplistic, but it's prettier than the copy that I already had, so. The last section is my Libro FM audiobooks, and I'm gonna scooch over a little bit so I can put up book covers over here for you to see them. Now, I am part of the Libro FM influencer program. Libro FM is it's an audiobook subscription similar to Amazon's Audible, except for Libro supports small businesses instead of Jeff Bezos. So I prefer Libro. If you want either another subscription in addition to your Audible subscription, or you're switching over, there is a link down in the description box that is an affiliated link. So if you want to support me and use that link to sign up, I would greatly appreciate it. If you don't, then just go to Libro.fm and sign up on your own. So I got 3 books from Libro FM this month. The first one is How Beautiful We Were by Imbolo Imbu. I could say her name completely wrong. I apologize if I am. This is, I believe, about a company like poisons the water supply in a non-Western country, and just how like they don't care. Like, Western peoples tend to treat non-Western peoples as less than human. So they've poisoned the water supply, these people are dying, and the company's like, yeah, that sucks, but we're making money, which is a very American thing to do. So it sounded interesting. The cover is awesome. It's beautiful. So hopefully I can get around to this soon. The next book is Lost in the Neverwood by Aiden Thomas. I have not read Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas, which is their first novel, but I've heard good things about Aiden Thomas's writing. This is a Peter Pan retelling, and this is the first book that they've written, but not the first book that was published. Cemetery Boys was the first book that was published, but I don't know. I don't particularly care for Peter Pan, but I do want to read something by Aiden Thomas, or multiple somethings by Aiden Thomas, so I figured, why not? The third book that I picked up is Call Baby by Morgan Jerkins. I did get Wandering in Strange Lands by Morgan Jerkins from the influencer program last year, and I read that and it was awesome. It was one of the most fantastic, interesting, historical nonfictions that I've read in a long time. So I very, very much enjoyed Morgan Jerkins' writing and that book. So I wanted the next book by her, which is this one. I don't know what it's about. I literally picked this because I like the author. There were two other choices that you'll probably see on other people's videos that I didn't pick up. First was Actor Age Eve Brown, because like, although Talia Hibbert in this series are like hugely popular, I have fuck all like desire to read these books. Like, I don't like contemporary romance. The other one was The Conductors by Nicole Glover, and that book I had as an ARC, and so I had already read that one. So I didn't need to pick it up in audio. And that's everything. What did you think of my haul? Are there any books that I didn't read that you think that I should make a priority to read? Or anything else? Let me know what you thought about any of these books if you read it. Let me know if you've added any books to your TBR based off of what I have hauled today. And I will catch you in the next video. Bye.